Your Sunday betting previews are up for the NBA playoffs. Let's take a look at it from offshoreinsiders.com, where you got all four NBA sides. And certainly by the time a lot of you see this, we'll have it early up in the morning, Major League Baseball. Good chance of NHL. And in fact, as soon as I'm done this report, I'm going to take a look at the NHL databases and see if we will have NHL for Sunday. All right, Pacers and the Celtics. Let's take a look at all the good stuff that we've got on this. Of course, it's from offshoreinsiders.com. The Celtics, of course, as you know, and there we go. We're taking a look at the mybookie.ag odds. Boston is laying 7, a total of 209.5. The money line sees Boston at minus 310. Boston, as you know, they were the prohibitive preseason favorites in the East, but now they're the number 4 seed. Remember last year they made that beautiful run, the NBA Finals, without Kyrie Irving and Gordon Hayward, and everyone thought, well, they're coming back this year. They're going to be the overwhelming favorites. But what we kind of forgot was that maybe the Celtics just overachieved last year. The Celtics made a great run. They played their best basketball in the NBA playoffs. They pulled off an upset. They were actually underdogs against the 76ers. Won a couple really close games, and where Brad Stevens greatly outcoached Philadelphia there. But maybe the Celtics weren't quite as good as we thought they were last year. They just truly were a team that got hot at the right time. Remember, they were 1-7 straight up on the road in the playoffs last year. Now, the Pacers are without Victor Oladipo. Celtics, though, without Marcus Smart. And in fact, he probably won't be back until the conference finals. Jaylen Brown does take over for Smart. Now, when Aaron Baines entered the starting lineup for Marcus Morris, Boston did go 5-1 straight up down the stretch. More importantly for them, though, Gordon Hayward, remember, was, I think, the first game of the season last year where he had that freak injury, horrible injury. And understandably, it's not like, he didn't miss a beat when he came back. Started out slowly, but Hayward finally is playing with a lot more confidence. Averaged 16.9 points per game in the final 7 games. So talk about peaking at the right time. It does look like he is. Indiana, very solid 8th in the league defensively, even after losing Oladipo, and that was without Oladipo. They're still the number 8 defense in the league based on points per 100 possession. Celtics, the best team in the East versus the Pacers defense, though, getting 117.6 points per 100 possession, so they do not match up well. Indiana does not match up well against Boston. At least they certainly didn't do during the regular season. This game under is a big sharp bet based on our sources that we have offshore and in Vegas, as well as some outlaw. This is one of the bigger sharp bets of this game under the total. I got Boston in a sweep. Pistons and the Bucks. Detroit is a nice front line of Blake Griffin and Andre Drummond, but Griffin, less than 100%. Pistons are pretty cold. They enter the playoffs losing 7 of 11. Teams with 8.8 or better points per game margin are 65 and 53 in the postseason. Milwaukee, including 56.2% at home. Now, Detroit's dangerous, though. As an underdog, they did hit 200 more three-point shots than they gave up. And that really says the back door is wide open, especially with a pretty big point spread. Milwaukee, the best defense in the restricted area. That's big in the postseason because, remember, teams can kind of get away. The quickness is really big in the regular season. Not to say it's not important in the postseason. Don't misinterpret me. But where the defensive intensity isn't quite as high, that when you have speed, you can get some easy baskets. A little tough in the postseason where the intensity on defense is much higher. So getting points in the paint is really tough. But Milwaukee's very good defending the paint. Bucks won all 4 regular season meetings. 78% of the tickets written offshore and in Vegas are on the Bucks. This is the biggest public bet of the weekend based on percentage of bets. Bucks in 4. Thunder versus the Blazers. Yosef Nurkic is out for the Blazers. 15.6 points per game, 10.4 rebounds, 3.2 assists. That's very good for a big man. Enes Kanter takes over. That's going to really help the over. He's a good offensive player, not a very good defensive player. Of course, the Thunder, very much top heavy. My Adrian Barbeau theory. Like to see a nice 1-2 punch. Russell Westbrook and Paul George, they have that. George is expected to play. He does have a sure shoulder. There we go. The tongue twister. I knew this was good. Sore shoulder. There we go. Hey, if you're laughing at me, I want you to say it 3 times fast. Go ahead. Sore shoulder. But he will play. OKC 4-0 in the regular season, straight up in the series. OKC defends the pick and roll very well. Second best in the league, which Damian Lillard is very good at. So OKC does match up pretty well in defense. Do think OKC will win this in 6. Without question, if you're just a regular NBA fan, you're somehow not actually concerned with who's going to cover this, who's going to win. Come on. Are there really people like that? But this is the series to watch. Jazz and the Rockets. By the way, there we go, the lines. Forgot to mention Portland 3.5 over OKC, a total of 225. And Milwaukee 13 over Detroit, 219. Now in this Jazz, the Rockets are 6.5 over Utah, 214. No team more susceptible to an actual look ahead than the Houston Rockets. If the brackets hold up, and remember the NBA went to that bracket system a couple years ago, Rockets are going to be playing the Warriors in the next round. Yeah, the script was, of course, that they were supposed to meet in the conference finals like last year, but that's not going to happen. If there is really any team that could be looking ahead, it would be the Rockets. The series was split 2-2 during the regular season. Number 2 offense in Houston versus the number 2 defense in Utah. Rockets 99 points per 100 possessions was the fewest points that Houston scored against any Western Conference team. So, that is very important that Utah's defense did very well against Houston. Now with a healthy Derek Favors, or how healthy is Derek Favors for Houston? That's definitely a big question mark. He protects the rim very well, and Houston's guards are very good at penetrating. So if Derek Favors, if he's not able to play, if he's not able to play all of his minutes, that really means that the Jazz guards can do their dribble drives and drive in the lane a lot more. Now, if he's out, the Jazz will be smaller and quicker, so his injury definitely is going to affect the total on both ends. If he's out, that's really good for the over. They're going to be quicker on offense, but they're just not going to be as good on defense. So without him, the total should go up. With Donovan Mitchell, look, the Jazz, they've got the firepower to pull off an upset, and I frankly don't think it's going to be that big of an upset when they do win. I got the Utah Jazz in 7 games. If you like information like this, if you saw this on Twitter at Offshore Insider. By the way, on Twitter, again, because of character limitations, there's no S. So on Twitter, please follow us at Offshore Insider. And if you want the biggest sign-up bonus in the industry, go to mybookie.ag. You're going to get paid on time. I understand there's somebody out with a vendetta on one of those media things. He's like the first person to ever say anything negative about mybookie.ag. Please, don't kid yourself, clown. Mybookie.ag is one of the best sports books in the world. Use the promo code Duffy to get the maximum bonus. DUFFY. And you want more free information like this, wherever you're watching us, either give us a heart on Periscope, give us a like. Please rate us on iTunes positively, I would certainly hope. OffshoreInsiders.com and mybookie.ag.